This learning outcome will explain how to use digital design review tools to access and evaluate a BIM model. For the purpose of this learning outcome, Autodesk Navisworks will be used as the software of choice to demonstrate how to evaluate a model. The digital model would have been already created through a discipline-specific software that has 3D modeling capabilities, such as Autodesk Revit. The model would then be imported directly or through the cloud into a design review software. There are a number of these packages available as illustrated below. The image below provides an illustration of the Navisworks platform. For the purpose of this learning outcome, we will explore the fundamentals of this software and how it can be used to review and evaluate a model. As explained, at this stage, the initial 3D model will have been created. The design review package will federate a number of different design-specific models. To further explain, the goal of a BIM design review software is to enable the project team to not only evaluate a single model, but to combine and review a number of discipline models in what is called a federated model. This is a combined building information model that has been compiled by amalgamating several different models into one or importing one model into another. Within Autodesk Navisworks, to create a federated model, you can do this through two options. The append command functions almost identically to an open command, but instead of opening a new file, all existing files remain open in Navisworks while a new model is added to the overall scene, or alternatively through the merge function. The merge feature allows multiple copies of the same model to be combined without any duplication. The merge command allows these multiple reviewed models to be combined into a single file. Any duplication of geometry is automatically removed, so the final contains one set of geometry and all of the markups and comments from the different reviewers. If we look at this within Navisworks, we can see that we have an open model. In order to add our MEP model or structure model, we can use the function append or the function merge. In this case, I'm going to use the function append, and I'm going to select my MEP model and my structure model, and we can now see that this has become a federated model consisting of three individual domain-specific models. Once the federated model has been established, you can now begin to walk through the model. There are a number of tools available in order to evaluate the model as one walks through it. We have the initial view cube, the navigation wheel, the pan, the zoom, the orbit, the look around, and the walkthrough. Let's have a look at this now back in Navisworks. As we can see over here, we have the view cube. The view cube allows us to go to an instant view within the model, such as the front, the left, the top, or the bottom. While up here, this returns us to our default view. Over here, we have the full navigation wheel. Full navigation wheel allows us to click on the different options in order to navigate through the model. We can also use a number of different mouse options to do the same. The pan pans through the model and moves it left, right, up or down. We have a zoom window here, which will zoom in and out of the model. The orbit allows us to orbit around a particular area. We can turn on the look around once we are in walk mode, and this is to activate the walk mode. To activate the walk mode, we click on the shoes here and we can do walk or fly. So this time I'm going to use the walk option. So this allows us to enter into the model by just holding down a left click and pushing forward. We can put on the eye and then we can turn left and right within a full circle. This can also be done by holding the left click and moving the mouse in a circular option. To move up, I hold down the mouse wheel and come up on the building. Once we are in the walk option, we also have a number of different options. For example, we can click on collision, which means that we will collide with different items and will bounce off them. So this keeps us in a room and we will be unable to walk through the walls. Alternatively, we can put on gravity. That means as we walk on what the ground floor will be. And crouch is the option where if we are walking into a room and we set the crouch option to a certain height, it'll mean that we will have to crouch going through a certain pathway unless it's at a designated height. And we can put on our third person, our avatar, and the avatar can be used to navigate in a third person perspective. What we can also do is change the avatar, which can be done up in the Navisworks options. If we would like to select an object, we can select here, click on an object, and then once that's selected, we can come up to our properties. Within the properties, you can see all of the information associated with that object. When we have the federated model open, in order to understand what we're looking at and how the model is broken down, we can use the selection tree. The selection tree is a dockable window which displays a variety of hierarchical views of the structure of the model, as defined by the CAD application in which the model was created. It details the elements within each individual model. This can be further broken down into sub-levels, such as compact and properties. This will allow you to search within each model file and locate a particular area item. Each item within the selection tree can be further explored through either the properties icon or the selection inspector icon. We can access the selection tree here within the Home tab. If I select the selection tree, what it's telling me here is that I have 3 models. I can select each one. If I take for the architectural model, for example, I can open or expand here. And within here, I can see all the different floors. And I can select each one. And within each floor, I can expand it further. And I can see all the objects within that floor. For example, we can see down here, curtain wall, double glass. We have the option, if just we would like to see that, by going up to here and going hide unselected. What that will do is hide everything that's not selected in the model and show just that one item. So by doing that, we can now zoom in and we can see this curtain wall, double glass. I can click up in here, not hide all, and use my default view to come back out. And I can click up here to collapse everything. Once again, let's say I wanted to concentrate just on the MEP model. I can come up in here and go hide unselected, which will just show me my MEP model. If I open this folder and say I only wanted to select the second floor, I can select here and go hide unselected, and now I can see everything available within my second floor. Selection tree is a vital tool in order to understand the layout of the model and also how to navigate quickly and get the information required. The next item we will look at is the viewpoint option. The viewpoint is a way of taking an image within the model that can be used to express concerns or design flaws that we find as we navigate through the federated model. So to explain this in more detail, you can take a viewpoint of anywhere in a model by clicking on the Save Viewpoint option. This viewpoint will be saved in the Save Viewports panel, and when clicked on will bring you to the same spot where the viewpoint was taken. This will essentially take a picture of that part of the model and can be exported as an image. Viewports are used to highlight clashes within the model. Let's explore the viewpoints option within Navisworks. In this case, let's use it simply to denote a particular space, while we will use the viewpoint option to highlight design errors later on in this lesson. As we can see in here, we have the viewpoint tab. Within here, we have a number of different options. The ones that I'm concerned with here is the Save Viewpoint. So I'm going to turn back on the walk option and enter into a space. I'm going to create a viewpoint that represents this space. So to understand where we are, we can click on an object. Let's say we take this desk, and we can see that this corresponds to the selection tree. And if I chase this up here, I can see that this is in the 4th floor. So I'm going to create a viewpoint now by clicking on the Save Viewpoint. This will open up the Viewpoints tab. I'm going to call this 4th floor. What this does is if we return out of the model and I come up to my Save Viewpoint and I click here, it will automatically bring me to that spot in the model. And if I put back on my walk option and click here, I can take off from that point. We will use the viewpoint options later on in this lesson in order to mark up and denote potential errors within the model. Another important tool that can be used to interrogate the model is the section tool. Within Navisworks, there are two predominant section tools, the plane tab and the box option. Let's have a look at these back in the Navisworks design review package. In Navisworks, the section tool can be accessed through the viewpoint tab. By clicking here, we can click on the section. This will enable us to cut through the model and see specific spaces in different views. So I've now enabled the section, and the first option that comes up is the planes option. The plane option allows us to set planes at different elevations. For example, I have one plane on and it is coming down from the top. So if I click here on the option I'd like with my plane, I have move, and this will move the option in and out. I can go to rotate, and this will rotate the plane into a specific angle. If I'd like to add a second plane, I can come up in here and go plane 2. And then I could maybe set a plane coming in from the front. As we can see in here, we can cut through the model like this. If I click link a selection planes, what this will do is it'll link plane 1 and plane 2, where I can go up or across. The other option is the box option. By clicking here, what this gives us now is a box option, which means that we have all the planes on at the same time. We can make this box bigger by clicking scale, and we can create a box of any size we like. And then we can zoom in and we can see as the plane cuts through the building. Another important capability within design review packages is the measure option. The measure tool will give you a number of options to measure surface within the model. This can help get quick quantities as well as quick measurements from the model in order to assist with your work duties. A number of different options are available within the Navisworks function. Let's have a look at some of these in more detail. The measure option can be accessed through the review tab here. By clicking here, we can see that we have a measure function, and this can do a number of different options. Let's take a look at some of these. For example, we have the point to point. So we can click here and click to the end, and we can see that we've measured a distance here of 2.56 between the 2 points. If we go to the point to point multiple points, we can come up in here, and what we can see is that we can start getting distances as long as we have a base distance set. The area function will give us an area of a particular object. While the angle will help us calculate out a particular angle if that's required. These can be easily used in order to gain quick access from the model. By selecting two objects as well, for example, if we select object A here and object B, we can go shortest distance, and we can see the shortest distance between these two objects. There are a number of options here within the measure tools that can be used in order to get quick access and information of the model without having to default back to 2D plans using scale rules. Through the link option in Navisworks, you are able to link important information such as specification and images to objects in the model. You can link external information such as websites, manufacturing information, as well as anything which you've deemed a requirement for that object. Let's look at this in more detail in Navisworks. The links function can be accessed through the Home tab in Navisworks. By clicking here, it'll turn on all links associated with the model. We can see that there's a link here called Energy Guidance. This is directing me towards a web link, which is to do with the conservation of energy and fuel. If I clicked on this Energy Guidance, it's going to direct me towards that web link where I can download the particular specification. If I would like to add a link, let's say to do with the door, I could click on the door, go right click, links, add a link, and this will give me an option to add information either externally or saved on our hard drive on the computer or within the cloud environment. We already looked at how to create viewpoints earlier in this training lesson. But now let's look at what we can do once these viewpoints have been targeted and saved. We can use the markup tools that are available within Autodesk Navisworks. One of these tools is the redline tool, which enables a number of options to highlight a problem within the model. Let's have a look at this more detailed back in Navisworks. Here we can see a problem to do with the stair rails. In fact, there's actually no rails or no protection to assist with the stairs. This is something that we are now going to highlight through a combination of our viewpoint and markup tools. I'm going to put back on select and I'm going to go to my viewpoint. And here I'm going to save viewpoint. Within the save viewpoint, I'm going to say railings. Once this is done, I'm going to go to my review tab. And in here, I have a number of red line options. I'm going to go to draw and I'm going to use the cloud option. And by doing that, I'm going to highlight this stairs. Once this is done, I can add further information by text and an arrow. But what I'd like to do now is I would like to tag this item. And I can do this by clicking here, by clicking once on the arrow, and then clicking away where I'd like my pop-up box to appear. By clicking here, I can see that I have an option to add a comment. And I'm going to add, please add railing to the model. And this can tell me what status that this is. Now I'm going to press OK. So anyone now that opens up the model, when they come into the model, what they can do is they can go to the review tab, they can go to the view comments, click on that, and they can scroll through the errors that are tagged by clicking here. And that will bring us to the error that we tagged called ratings concern, and then we can see the comment. We can see who it's ordered by and the status. And then this can be replied, or we can add a comment and say, will be added in the next revision. And then this can be changed to resolved. Press OK. Now we can see a traceable history of that error. We previously looked at this, how it can be done within the cloud environment. But as we can see, it can be also done with our design review package. This brings us to the end of Micromodule 102 for Learning Outcome 4.1 in the Digital Skills Training Unit. The second micromodule will investigate clash detection and how to perform, and also how to understand. A video has been provided here with a link detailing further information about markups. Advise to view this video in order to gain an appreciation of some of the review tools that are existing within Navisworks and how to further understand them and create markups in regards to highlighting information to the design and construction team.